What's going on, guys? It's Quasi Dog here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this guy right here. Now, this is a bi-directional HDMI 2.1 switch from a company called Llano, and this is set to fix two different issues. One you may have known you had, the other, maybe this video is here to solve both of them, but being bi-directional and being only like $1 more than the single base solution, I think this is a nice pickup just to have on hand in case you run into the other scenario. So we're gonna talk about what I think is the main purpose right now, and that's actually taking two HDMI 2.1 devices, whether it be, let's say, an Xbox Series X and a PS5, and occupying a single HDMI 2.1 port on the back of either your computer monitor or your TV, because HDMI 2.1, even going into 2022, is not readily available on a lot of displays. There are some TVs coming out that have all four ports, but a good majority of them only have either a single or dual, and usually one of those two on a dual port TV, such as my Hisense U8G, is the ARC port, and you don't want to take that one up with a gaming console if you're running an AVR system. So what this allows you to do is actually take two HDMI 2.1 sources and output them into a single input on the back of your display. Now, this is certified for 48 gigabit per second, so the full bandwidth of HDMI 2.1, meaning this is compatible with up to 8K at 30 frames, you can do 4K at 120 Hertz, you could do 1080p at up to 144 Hertz, and this is honestly compliant all the way down to like HDMI 1.4 standard. So if you're running 720p, whether it's a switch, 1080p, this is just gonna do everything for you, which is fantastic. Now, the other unique thing that I really like about this switch, and of course, it serves two purposes because it's bi-directional, is if you're in an environment, let's use this computer behind me as an example, let's say you're streaming. You have a primary display and then you have a secondary display specifically for gaming and then one for productivity. What this switch will allow you to do, being bi-directional, is you could take, let's say, your PC or your PS5 or whatever you have being a single output device, and you can actually output that and switch it between two displays. Not both at the same time. This is not like a KVM switch or anything that will activate both ports at once, but it will switch from one to the other. So if you have an expensive gaming display and you want to use that, you don't have to unplug your HDMI cable from the back of your console or the back of your GPU and move it into that display, and then unplug it again and move it into, let's say for me, a productivity TV, which is nice and big and fairly color accurate, but not as fast as a gaming monitor if I wanted to use this for full-time gaming on top of that. So this will actually take either a single device and output to two TVs, or it will take two devices and output to a single HDMI 2.1. And being that it's like $2 more than just the single base solution, I think if you're in the market for one of these switches, picking up the bi-directional option is just smart to have on hand. Now, when it comes to the build quality of the Llano switch, it is actually made out of aluminum. So it's very robust, it's very durable in its appearance as well as its feel and its build quality. But I think one of its shining characteristics is just the fact that it's so small. It's the smallest switch that I've seen so far, and it's very presentable. And what I mean by that is I would have no problem having this 3M taped to, let's say, my wall or my entertainment stand and having it in kind of line of sight or the ability for other people to see it. It's unintrusive. It's honestly nice. It looks like a solid piece of AV equipment versus, again, some of the more budget-oriented plastic builds that I've seen on the market. Now, this switch is manual, and what I mean by manual is there is a button right here. So clicking that will go back and forth between the two HDMI ports. You're going to see the indicator lights showing up, lighting up underneath each individual port to let you know which one you're using. So this will not switch automatically using CEC or HDMI, Ethernet, or anything like that. So let's say your last device was on this side, it was your Xbox Series X, and you automatically turn on using your controller, the PS5. The switch will not automatically engage the other HDMI by itself. You're going to have to get up, you're going to have to press the button. There's no remote control or anything like that. So that is again where I say that the fact that this does not look ugly in appearance means that you don't have to hide this in your entertainment cabinet or like behind your TV. You can have it in plain sight where it's super accessible and it's not going to be a problem at all. Now, as far as ports, we talked about the two HDMI 2.1. There is a micro USB on this to offer it supplementary power. So it's USB-A to micro USB. You can use a 5 volt off the back of your TV, but truth be told, in my testing over the last week, I haven't needed it. It needed no supplementary power and it was getting more than enough that it needed from the actual HDMI itself. Now, I also tested this at 4K 120 Hertz. I have the Denon S760H. Links for a video dedicated to that receiver will also be within the video description. My monitor turned off, but we're gonna keep on trucking. Let's press this for background. How's that sound? So with this guy here, I did test using the Denon receiver because it does actually show me the output bandwidth, and I was running full 40 gigabit per second, which is all the Xbox Series X offers. It passed it through to the TV fine, and we can see that 4K 120 Hertz is working, not a problem. So this is a fantastic solution as far as gaming and entertainment goes, but being the bi-directional, again, I think this will actually serve additional purposes if you have multiple displays that you like to go back and forth between for any given purpose you may have. You can actually use a single HDMI output device and then rack back and forth between the displays. And that I think is super cool. And then again, the fact that it doesn't really need the power from what I've come across, it makes it very, very easy to, let's say, even put this on a camera to go in between a bigger display and then an onboard monitor. You can do so many different things with this. It's very pocketable if you needed to take it on the road to a friend's house, to a work event, anything like that. And I just think, honestly, this guy is great. So if you have been looking for a viable and affordable solution for either of the two issues that we talked about in this video, links for this product will be in the video description. I've been using it for about a week. I can highly recommend it. And based on some of the other switches that do similar things that I've seen on the market, having this both bi-directional and the build quality that it has behind it, for the price, I think this guy is the one to take a look at. So if you found this video at all helpful, go ahead and leave a like, and don't forget to comment while you're down there as well. Bell notifications, subscribe, all that good stuff that every YouTuber tells you to do. I'm gonna do it too because we're almost at 10K. And I took a look the other day, guys. Did you know we have 96.2% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed? That's crazy. So do not fall into that statistic. Yep. Go ahead and subscribe and stay up to date for any videos that will be coming out in the future. But until my next video, my name is Quasi Dog. You guys have been awesome, and we'll catch you guys in my next one. Take care.